Hi, I'm Joe Goldman.
To create a recovery plan, we convened several thousand citizens across 20 different cities, all linked together simultaneously by satellite and webcast, actually matching the pre-Katrina demographics of New Orleans, and actually found consensus that reflected what planners thought was the best thing to do. And it was remarkable to watch that consensus actually catapult the process forward, because we actually reflected who was in the community and gave political leaders the public mandate they needed to act. So
I'm Michelle Hefner, and I work for Beth right now, but my home agency, GSA, is the Office of Government-Wide Policy. And one of the things that I do day to day is basically a community organizer within government. And we focus on a lot of the collaboration and bringing groups together to solve problems related to IT and IT policy. And while I don't work on civic engagement related things, mostly making government more effective, I do have the benefit of working on many special projects, and one of them was the disparity of access to broadband. And while we still have that disparity, I think the gap is closing. And that was one of the projects that I felt was really worthwhile, to reach the rural areas and really bring the internet out to those areas that are underserved.
My name is Bob Tobias. I was for 31 years with the National Treasury Employees Union, the last 19 or 16 of which I was the president. So I was very much involved, like John Kaminsky, with employee engagement. The last 10 years I've been at American University, where I've run an executive education program where I've tried to put into the curriculum elements of how do managers and SES executives really include and involve people. But my example about public participation is from my role as a member of the Internal Revenue Service Oversight Board, where we have supported and nurtured volunteers who provide tax advice and tax filing for low-income persons across the country. And I was recently at one of these sites, and I watched advice being given by a volunteer to a person. And so I asked this person when I finished, well, what did it feel like to be in this place? And he said to me, you know, I'm really relieved. And I'm wonderfully surprised. So I thought, that's it.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Cheryl Young. I work for the General Services Administration here in Washington, D.C. for the Public Service Building Service Division branch. For me, I can't really say there's one particular thing that made me be involved. I guess it's maybe innate in me. I'm a native Washingtonian. And being a native Washingtonian, you can't help but being involved with the activities here politically and as a citizen. My background, I'm a financial management analyst, and I'm involved with capital investment projects. So I'm kind of behind the scenes and help to put together the funds in which are invested into urban development and communities development for PBS. However, what has drawn me to this group, I appreciate the invite, but currently where I see where citizen engagement has become paramount is apparent. We see it in this past election, and it's also needed and desperately needed. What I like to see is, in terms of citizens engagement, is where there are new competencies developed as a result of knowledge and information sharing. And I hope this initiative addresses it.
I'm Darlene Meskel, and I'm with GSA as well. Over the course of many years, I have worked with Saul Alinsky in Chicago and Dave Clark here in Washington. But these days, I'm working with USA.gov, and our call center at 1-800-FED-INFO and the Consumer Information Center in Pueblo, Colorado. And what I would like to talk about is how we have used collaboration, and we've used various connections with people around the world to get information that we need to improve USA.gov and to improve our delivery of citizen services to the public. As you probably know, USA.gov is the web portal for the U.S. government, and the call center is our centralized call center. The same with the consumer information booklets. What we never have been able to quite handle was finding out what the public really wanted and how the public wanted to get its information. So we're looking at 300 million people, and we don't really know what they want from us. There are all kinds of structural problems that restrict our ability to get that information. The OMB policies, there are financial issues, there are all kinds of issues about how we can get this information. We were able to find out from the Canadian government's CIO that they have developed a very good process for getting information cheaply from citizens using a voluntary process that built an 11,000 member pool of volunteers who were willing to be surveyed to find out what it is they wanted. We are in the process of instituting that in USA.gov as we speak. We have a procurement out there, and it all came about through our interactions with the Canadian CIO.
My name is Shayla Simmons, and I'm from the Department of the Interior. I am the Senior Counsel for Collaborative Action and Dispute Resolution, so I'm in the Office of the Solicitor. And my primary goal is to have the lawyers across the country who provide service for interior programs understand that it's okay to engage the public, and that it's okay to actually resolve disputes other than waiting to go to court with the Department of Justice. So that's my main focus. You're going to hear from my partner Elena over there in a minute. And I have to say, I was really happy that this gentleman over here said how many examples of bad public participation he's seen. Because I was sitting here thinking, I'm going to be the one that sounds like a downer. I mean, I see a lot more of that right now than I see good, but I'm hopeful. And so the one example, before I started doing this work officially, it's been 3 years now, but I've been in Interior 15 years, and so I've had a range of opportunities to see public participation. A small community group in central Colorado decided that they were tired of seeing the streams by their homelands look orange and acidy. And they came forward to the Bureau of Land Management and said, we want to help you clean this up, tell us how to do that. And they engaged with the BLM and with the mining company that had abandoned the mines along their watershed, and that water is running clear today. And it was pretty amazing to be there and actually hear them talk to the policymakers who said, yes, we want you to help us do this.